Hey everybody, I'm Brian with Aromacup.com, and thank you guys as always for joining me here in my virtual coffee shop brought to you by Aromacup.com. In today's video, I'm giving you an exclusive recipe. I'm going to show you how to make a Café au lait by making use of the Starbucks Verismo single-serve coffee machine. Very easy to do. Let's dive right in and make it happen. First thing we need to do before we start brewing anything using the Verismo is we need to take a empty cup. And in fact, you know what we'll go ahead and do? We'll just use the tumbler that we're going to make our coffee into, and we're going to run a rinse cycle. I'm going to, I don't need to open the lever or anything like that. I just need to press the top button. This is going to run a quick rinse cycle on the machine. This is also the button that we usually use for making espresso, but in this case it's just going to run some water through the machine. This is going to get any coffee residue, oil, stuff like that out of the machine and get you ready to make the best possible drink. Now, go ahead and get rid of that water. This is also going to get your tumbler a little bit hot and ready to go for your beverage. Now, a Café au lait is very simple. Just very simply, this is going to be some milk and some coffee. So I have a Verismo milk pod right here. Easy to tell what it is because it's white. And I'm just going to start off by opening up the brew lever here on the top of the Verismo, drop my pod in, close up that lever, puncture the milk pod, and now I'm going to press the third button down. This is the milk pod button on the Verismo. Now there's a 19-bar pressure pump inside of the Verismo, and this is going to give you really what you come to expect from frothing milk up on average, especially coming from an automated machine. This is pretty good because you're going to get that foam that you expect on frothed milk. And that pressure is also going to make sure that you can actually take that milk pod from being powdered milk, which is what's inside of that. It's a 2% milk fat powdered milk, and it's going to turn it into, of course, obviously nice hot milk for your beverage. Give it just a second to finish up its brew cycle. Now, one thing that you are going to notice sometimes is that when you are using the machine, after it has brewed, sometimes the buttons are going to blink green. If they're blinking, the machine is heating back up and getting itself ready for the next part of your brew cycle. So sometimes good to give it just a little bit of time in between brews. Open up that brew station there on the top of the Verismo, and now take one of your Verismo brewed coffee pods. Now, the Verismo brewed pods are a little bit different from the Verismo espresso pods, and that's because on the bottom they have a freshness seal. You need to make sure and remove this before you start brewing your brewed Verismo pod. So this is easy to do. Just take that little lever that's right here on that silver lining and peel it right off. You're going to hear a little bit of air escape because these are vacuum sealed, and you're going to notice that you're going to see just a little bit of a white filter there. That's the filtration system that is used for getting the coffee to brew out of the Verismo pod. Drop that pod into the machine. I'm using, by the way, the Starbucks brewed the Café Verona dark, nice dark blend of coffee right here. Close up that brew lever. You'll feel it again pop and puncture that Verismo pod, and now we're going to use the button in the middle of the row of 3 buttons right here. This is the brewed coffee button on the Verismo. And you notice that right now, still, I'm waiting for the machine to heat up just a little bit. So I have to make sure and give it that time in order to be able to brew my coffee. So after you give it that little bit of time, after the lights go from blinking green to solid green, you know that you're ready to start brewing. Now, one thing that I should mention here is that the machine is automated and timed. So this is going to run a regular brew cycle for a brewed cup of coffee from the Verismo. But if you want to change the strength of your drink, you can press that button one more time in order to stop the brewing process. I'm going to go ahead and let this just go because, like I say, a Café au lait is very simply brewed coffee and milk. Now you can adjust the flavor, of course, by brewing, let's say, more milk pods into your beverage or changing the amount of coffee that you actually brew into your beverage. And you can see even now I'm starting to get a little bit to the top of my tumbler. So if you were to start finding that you were perhaps going to start overflowing a little bit, you could press that button. But in this case, I get just to the top, and I've got a nice, tall Café au lait right here. And that right there is a pretty darn good drink for coming out of an automated single-serve coffee machine, I have to say. And let's taste it and see how it tastes. The milk is nice. It's not sweetened, which is good. It's a little bit sweet because there is a little bit of sweetness in 2% milk fat coffee, but it's not overly sweet, so you can add some sugar if you want to. Quality of the coffee, very nice. Again, this is a nice dark roast from the Café Verona. And I usually like to have a dark coffee a little bit later in the day, or flip-flop and maybe have that in the morning. Depends on how you like your beverage. Of course, you can sweeten this up. You can add anything to it that you would like, or of course, you can just get on the road, get out the door, and you've got your Café au lait right there ready to go. So that's how quick and easy it is to make a Café au lait by making use of the Verismo by Starbucks, guys. Clean up, very simple. Again, just pop that lever, drop that empty pod into the pod holder here underneath the brew station, and now you're ready to make another drink, or of course, as I say, get on the road and you've got your coffee for the day. As always, guys, thank you guys so much for joining me here in my virtual coffee shop, brought to you by Aromacup.com. I hope that you've enjoyed our videos. Please check out our other ones for more exclusive recipes and overviews on the Verismo by Starbucks. As always, enjoy your cup, take care, and I'll see you next time.